Good morning, everybody, and welcome back.
Hi.
So, who's your little friend?
You needed a little help, so you made me. I needed help, so I made him.
So, he's a mini me.
Well, to me, he's just a mini me.
Oh, I don't like where this is going. Send him out to clean up the shop, and we'll talk later. Okay, let's get back to it. Today, I want to take a few minutes and talk about when to rebuild and when to replace the carburetor on your assorted lawn equipment. Around here, we use a few factors to make the decision. The first is condition. If an old carb has rusted parts or is overly corroded, I don't bother with it. They can get pretty ugly if they sit for a long time. Second is replacement cost. Let's be honest. If carburetors were 3 for $1, we'd all replace every one of them every single time.
But they aren't.
No, they are not. But some are a lot cheaper than others. Aftermarket carbs for two-stroke motors run between $12 and $18. Carbs for bigger engine cost a bit more, sometimes a lot more.
But the cheap carbs are all made in China. Aren't those a lot worse than the OEM?
Some are, but most are fine. The reason people have a hard time using cheap aftermarket carbs is rarely a problem with the carb itself. It's usually that people get the wrong one. You don't want to get a carb that's one size fits all. If you see a cheap carburetor that's listed for motors from 24 to 42 cc, you don't want it. Take the time to shop around and find one that's the correct size for your motor, and you'll usually be fine.
And read the reviews.
Yes, thank you. Find one with multiple reviews that mention your particular motor. Okay, the third thing is complexity. I'm trying to make videos for normal people. I do a lot of repairs that I don't put on the screen because they require specialty tools or they're just too involved for someone who doesn't work on motors every day.
So we're making videos for weekend warriors.
Yep, I started out as a weekend warrior, and I appreciate that the people watching are looking for a quick info on how to fix something. Now, if you're working on rebuilding an older motor, you can visit Tom at Vintage Engine Repair. He has some interesting videos replacing pistons and cylinders and rebuilding really old equipment. He's a nice guy and he really loves old engines.
Tom's channel's pretty cool.
It is for sure, and it can be pretty interesting to see the engineering inside a 40-year-old edger. It's surprising how little things have changed in yard tools over the years. Our channels do pretty much the same thing from different angles, and we have pretty close to the same number of subscribers. We're both working hard to make it over 1,000. So if you visit, make sure you subscribe.
But subscribe here first so we can beat him to 1,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get set up at the bench and look at what's involved in rebuilding different types of carburetors.
I'll just wait here.
If we have a look at this is a pretty normal two-stroke carburetor that you'd find on a weed eater or a blower or something. This one's an Echo. Usually takes about 5 minutes to replace with a new one, and it costs about $15 on average for a kit that comes with new fuel lines and a spark plug and an air filter and everything.
There's a lot of parts here.
Scoot over. Yep, and they're mostly specific to this carburetor.
Hey, come on, that was uncalled for.
We usually replace two-stroke carburetors because they have a lot of moving parts inside that need replaced on a rebuild. And they're so cheap, it's usually not worth bothering with. By the time you've replaced all these gaskets and diaphragms, and it's usually not worth the time and the cost.
So, what about pressure washers and mowers?
Well, let's have a look at this one. This is a Tecumseh carburetor, and it'd fit a lot of mowers and edgers. It's a pretty common carburetor. It has two things that can go wrong, and usually neither of these require parts. A float that can stick, and jets that might be clogged. Almost anybody can do this in a few minutes, and it would save you the cost of the carb.
So, should I clean it up or buy a new one?
Usually these cost quite a bit more, and they like getting cleaned, so we always clean them, unless they're corroded really badly or the parts inside have rust on them.
That was fun. Time to move over to the chainsaw?
I'm not letting you anywhere near a chainsaw. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Replacing a carburetor on a two-stroke is a whole lot easier than you think. And on a four-stroke, it's not that hard. You know, a lawnmower, an edger, or whatnot. It's still pretty easy to replace, but they rebuild so easily, anybody can do it. So, thanks for watching, and
Hey, wait, aren't you supposed to say, don't forget to subscribe?
we'll see you next time.